Mama Lynn, the founder of Light in Africa Children's Home, here in Tanzania, East Africa. And Light in Africa cares for some of the most vulnerable children one can imagine. We're working in two regions, the Kilimanjaro region and also Manyara region. And the reason why I'm shooting this video today is to tell you about my next trip. In November 2016, I travelled 3,400 kilometres in a three-wheel vehicle, and that brought quite a lot of attention, especially from the police, who stopped us 19 times and called me a crazy Wazungu, that is a crazy white European. And that was because they'd never seen a white woman with a dog on her lap before. And so that caused quite a bit of interest. And it was a great trip as we went from Bagamoyo to Ujiji, following the old caravan route. And my next trip, which is going to start on March the 17th, which is about 3 weeks away now, I'm going to do something quite a bit different. And that is, I'm intending to touch the 8 countries surrounding Tanzania. It's going to be quite a challenge because I don't know how long it's going to take me. If I miss the ferry, which is going all the way down Lake Tanganyika, I might have another week to wait for it. So it's all an unknown quantity, but I'm sure it's going to be exciting because the people I'm taking with me on this trip is Richard the Maasai. I'm taking Julius, who was our driver of our service vehicle last time, and I'm taking Joshua, who is one of my boys. And Joshua has just finished his secondary school education, and at Light in Africa, when we put our children through primary, secondary, and before they go off to colleges, we ask them to give a year back to Light in Africa. And so they learn life skills like working in the kitchen, working in torchbearers reception, hosting guests, working with the social workers, and doing all manners of things. And then I'm quite happy after that year knowing that they can go off to Dar es Salaam to colleges and take care of themselves. So Josh will be joining us and he will be doing the filming on this trip. So what is it about? Well, the children at Light in Africa have for many years now been asking me to build a swimming pool. And one of the reasons why I'm agreeing to do it this year is because at the back of us here is the Sanyuju River. And when the rains come, it floods. And the roar, we can hear the roar of the water. And as you know, water attracts children. And unfortunately, nearly every year a child drowns in this river. And so I'm going to hopefully build this swimming pool, and we're going to invite not only our children to learn to swim, but also the children in the community. This will all take place in the low season, and then our guests from Torchbearer will be able to enjoy the facilities of a swimming pool during their stay in the high season. So my trip is going to consist of us on March the 17th, leaving here, Chuda village, on motorbikes and travelling to the Kenyan border. Then the following day we catch a coach and we go all the way through the Serengeti to Mwanza. And from Mwanza we catch a ferry to Bukoba. Bukoba, we touch on the border of Uganda. So from Uganda, it's Rwanda, Burundi, the Congo, Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, and back to Dar es Salaam, up the coast to Dar es Salaam and then back home. So this is totally an unknown quantity, but with taking Richard the Maasai, I'm believing it's going to be a very, very interesting trip because he's very much a traditional Maasai. And his first question when he agreed to come on this trip was, could he take his weapons with him. His weapons included a machete and a simi, which is like a dagger, and his rungu, which is a wooden, like a mallet, which the Maasai hit people over the head with. And so I said, well, I didn't think he could take perhaps the machete and the simi, but he could probably take his rungu with us, because we'll be going on a light airplane, and I really don't think the pilot would feel comfortable having these weapons in the plane with him. And so he agreed, okay, he would take his rungu. But for this Maasai, who's never been out of this area, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing experience for him to see the Indian Ocean, for him to see a train, for him to go and sleep on a ferry. Wow, I think this is going to be a fantastic trip. And I do hope you're going to be able to join me on this. Josh is going to do the filming, and so we hope you will join us on Facebook, on Light in Africa, and on Torchbearer's site. Thank you very much. See you on the 17th of March.